What's good, YouTube? This your boy Chopper Style, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler review for Monster Hunter. Now, I gotta be honest, this movie definitely made me mad in certain parts. The beginning. Let me get into it, bro. What was the point of her crew? They could have done the beginning so many different ways. Them explaining how they got into the Monster Hunter world. Why couldn't Mila just be in the Monster Hunter world from the beginning? I mean, in the game, you start off in the world, and I think this movie would have worked out so much better if she started off in the world and the movie was explained on monster hunting. That's what the movie is about. Monster hunters. We don't need this beginning of her crew and they try, how they got into the Monster Hunter world. And I admit that's not a terrible idea with them coming into a storm. But why did her crew have to go? Why couldn't she just go? Because her crew, I'm thinking, okay, I didn't know T.I. and Megan Good and all of them were in the movie. I'm like, okay, it's cool to see these characters. But you find out they are completely pointless. I thought one of them or a couple of them were going to survive. None of them survived. They all died. And it's like, you could have even cut that short. Right when the spiders, they came out and captured, they could have just fast forward to where they got captured and Mila woke up and they were all dead. Like that beginning part was just so annoying. Why have all those characters and have meaning behind them just for them to die? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't care that they died. It wasn't sad. I got to see them for how long before they got killed? I didn't get to invest any time into them, and then also Tony Jaa, he played a very good character, but why in the hell were they fighting so much? Mila and Tony Jaa were fighting. They fought two or three times. Why are they fighting? Mila, you're on a different world with these big ass monsters. You see a human, the only human other than your crew that died. This dude is helping you. I mean, you've seen him shoot the damn explosions at the monster. Someone's helping you. This dude captured you, didn't kill you, completely could have, and you want to keep fighting him. I mean, and she wasn't just trying to fight him, she was trying to kill him. Okay, you kill him and then you're really messed up on the island or the world now. So what? That they draw that way out. The movie completely wasted its time in this movie doing that. I mean, a movie, you have to come out strong. You only have between an hour and a half to 3 hours to get your point across and to have action and everything else. And they wasted an hour with her crew and then with her and Tony Jaa fighting. That whole beginning part, that could have been taken out, because once he started showing her the weapons and how when you put the blades up in the air, they turn on fire. Look, he didn't explain how it happened, and you don't need to. In the game, they don't explain their weapons and how they do that. I don't care. This is based on a video game, right? So have video game logic. You don't need to explain so much. You can get away with certain things. People go into Monster Hunter to see people hunting monsters. And after all the nitty-gritty stuff got out the way and the cool weapons came along, the movie got good. You see Mila going head on with the big monster. Now, I don't know his name because I just started playing the game because of this movie. But, they paid a lot of attention to the monsters. I think the monsters look great. And seeing Mila fight the monsters along with Tony Jaa and then his crew coming along. Bro, where was his crew the entire time? You seen Tony the entire time, but his crew just happened to be missing in action this whole time. Right? And then out of nowhere, the crew comes and helps. All that stuff could have happened sooner. Why? Because all the action was great. They were fighting good. I loved it. And the weapons looked exactly how they did in the game. Big ass swords. You had the grappling hook thing. You had the flaming blades. I'm like, yes, we're getting it in. And then when the crew came in, I'm like, yo, I don't know who these people are, but I know they probably from the game. And they are doing work. I mean, you seen them have the electric damn weapon, fire weapons. I mean, they are going at it. And you see him say hey, we'll help you get back. I don't know who the guy is, but hey, we'll help you get back to your town if you help us fight this monster. She's like, hell yeah, let's get it. And you could see her Mila being part of the crew and fighting these monsters. And they get into this big final battle. I'm like, yo, I thought the movie was about to be over. We're about to see a final battle. And they stop it in the middle of the fight. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is the movie trying to be bad? I'm like, look, I like the movie. But you completely played it from the beginning, giving her a pointless crew. You could have just started off in the Monster Hunter world. And then when you finally get to just all out brawl, fighting the monsters, what people came to see. What's the movie called? Monster Hunter. They start hunting monsters, doing the job, and then they stop it at the end. Like, dude, I was furious because of this movie being how it was, there may not be a sequel. They went into this movie just expecting there to be a sequel because I'm willing to bet part 2 will be so much better. Look at the Resident Evil series. They didn't get it right on the first one, but the second one was phenomenal. And a couple other ones after that were great. You know, and I think this is how Monster Hunter can go, actually even better. But if they don't get a sequel, they are done for. Like they're putting everything into the sequel, and it's like, you know, if you would have just taken the first hour of the film off, just made it so Mila was already in the Monster Hunter world, so you don't have to do all that pointless explaining. Her crew was expendable. There was no need for that. And her kissing the ring, you never got to see the husband or a picture of him, nothing. What was the point of that? You could have skipped all of that, lived in the Monster Hunter world, and got to see them fight a couple monsters, get to learn the crew and see them fight, and you at least finish the ending scene. At least finish that fight scene. Come on now. You give us one of the best looking scenes, everyone fighting at the same time, and you cut it short. And then to throw a laugh at it, you have a end credit scene where they show the cat going into battle, and you see them fighting a little bit, and then they cut it off again. I'm like, dude, at least could you show me the end? Like they could have finished. They needed to finish that fight scene. Finish the fight scene. Give us a little direction, a little direction on where the next film is going, and that would have been so much better. Like my main worry is that they completely messed up the sequel. Like, come on now. How are video game movies so hard to replicate? The story is already there. You have a game to go by. People are only going to see the movie because of the game. So make the movie like the game. Wouldn't that make sense? I mean, come on, man. Like, it sounds like I hate the movie. No, I don't hate it. It was a great movie when it got into it. It just did dumb things that, like, come on now. I'm not a film producer, but I can see where the movie didn't need to add things and could have easily taken it away. And ending on a good fight scene, who does that? Who ends on the greatest fight scene? Like, that's like having John Wick at the final battle and he's getting into it, about to fight all these people, and you just see the end. Like, dude, that doesn't happen. Like, come on, man. Like, that sucked, dude. It was a good movie for what it was. And, I mean, if I was a person who played the game, maybe I would have been a little bit more mad, you know, but even then, I mean, I think it did a better job than Dragon Ball. You know, Dragon Ball was terrible. It did a better than a lot of other video game movies. It's just, I just don't see whoever produced this movie, how they didn't see where the bad parts of this film were. I mean, they must not play the video game, because it's like, dude, you could have done less talking and more fighting monsters and everything would have been fine. But this is just my take on it, you know. It was a good movie. But I really hope it gets a part 2. Like, if it gets a part 2, they can fix some of the bad writing they did. I'm hoping, you know, that's my biggest worry. I hope they get a part 2. If they get a part 2, I think they can fix a lot of things. But if they don't get a part 2, this is a missed opportunity, man. And I think Mila plays the character great. I like her in these type of movies, and I hope to see it get a sequel. But this is it for my spoiler review on Monster Hunters. If you liked the video, could you please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Chopper Style out.